All right, let's get started. So this topic, what we're going to talk about today is a simple use of GDB. GDB is the GNU debugger. It's very important when you do your C programming. Um, so the GDB or the GNU debugger is a very powerful tool that you need to be conversant with, even if you don't do much coding. Your first years would be in debugging, a lot in debugging. So it helps to know why we need GDB. Okay, so that's the motivation for GDB. So let's run this thing. All right, let's see. We're here. We're gonna do some debug, right? Let's start a debug. So when you debug, the first thing that happens, it reads the symbols. It's called um, reading symbols, and it takes it from a.out. A.out is the executable file of a C program, the default one, unless you rename it to whatever you want to. So it takes the default a.out, reads the symbols, and gets ready to say, okay, I have all the information I need. I'm going to help you with debugging, right? So you see the symbol GDB here. That means it's active, and then the first thing you do R. So R is running the debugger, right? So I ran R. I did R. And it program ran. I just printed this hello world, and then it exited, right? So nothing happened. But when do you really need it? You need to debug something. You have a problem, so you need to go not quickly run through the program. You need to go like step by step. That's where your debugger comes in, right? So let's say a simple example. Okay, stop this thing. So let's see, int num equal to 1. Okay, so now let's debug this thing. So the last time we ran this, it just ran completely because we didn't really, control the running of the program. So before we run GDB, so let's do what's called setting a breakpoint. So I'm going to set a breakpoint where I'm going to say a line where the program stops rather than completely run through, it stops. So you can see this dot, this circle thing on the left. So that's like a breakpoint. And now I'm going to run it. So you see the program runs, but it doesn't just print hello world and stop. So it comes to this breakpoint and stops here. And on the right, you can see a bunch of stuff, all these, the function stack, the variables, the local variables which are inside the function, the expressions and values, which you can monitor, and all these things. The whole point is to monitor what happens, right? So you are not really running through the complete program. You're basically debugging or going step by step, uh, executing the line of the program where you set the breakpoint to, where you think there could be an issue, right? So in this example, let's take a small example. As you can see here, you see num equal to 1. So num is initially 0. So before 13 gets executed, num is set to 0. So now I'm going to run this thing. Let's try again. Okay, so you're in num equal to 1. You see the value on the right, num is 0 because this program hasn't yet executed. So now I hit n, which is the next step. So now the program comes to the next step. So in line 14, obviously 13 line is executed, and you can see the value of num change to 1. So the simple example I want to drive home, you can monitor the stuff in action. You can monitor the variables change. You can monitor what's happening. step by step through this very powerful utility called GNUDebugger. Right? There's a lots of features with it, but this is just to give you an idea of what GDB is and just how you just go about navigating it. All right. So that's a short video about GDB. I hope that helped. It's like tons of features. You can do the help and get more on it, but that's about it for GDB. All right, guys. Thank you.